we were impatient, and now, okay, time is here.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Karo and Mich, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It's getting later in the day in Belgium as we talk, when we're recording this, so I always appreciate that you give up some time in the evening for me. We're here obviously to talk about Kharon, the album coming out December 8th. But
exactly.
This is this album on itself has been a long time in the making, but also it's part of a bigger story that's been going on for a much longer time. So how do you feel about December 8th? Are you like, we're finally here, or it's old news for us, we're already thinking about the next step? Like, what are you thinking right now?
It's like we are finally able to release it after such a long time, and with all the COVID stuff, we were unable to do anything, and now it's finally here. The date is set, and we are like, yay, it's happening.
Yeah, we had to wait. Initially, it was supposed to be released in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we were locked, the concerts were stopped, and that. So we waited for the situation to be back to the normal, for us at least. And that's it. Because if you make an album, you want to promote it. So we were impatient, and now, okay, time is here.
You guys bring, I mean, everybody's going to label a band in a way. You always have to say like, oh, for fans of, and it's kind of like this, but it's very obviously the way you guys have a very eclectic sound. There's a lot of different styles, a lot of different elements that flow into each other. So just a first question I wanted to ask you, the band has been evolving and you guys have updated your style. When you guys are writing, do you put any limitations on yourself? Like, are there like lines in the sand that goes like, hey, whatever we do, we have to have these elements in our sound? Or is it very organic and you see where you end up?
I will answer. In Skeptical Minds, we have like two periods.
Yeah.
The period is before we start to make comic books with the album. So in the beginning, we had three elements. We still have those three elements. So it's the female melodic voice, electric guitars, guitar riffs, and electro-industrial elements. In the beginning, it was more electro-industrial stuff, dark. And now, with the previous album and this album, we were linked to a comic book, so we could explore more different universes, ambiances. So that allows us to go out of our classic beginning stuff.
There's a lot of atmosphere in this album, and it's I'll come back to some of the singing style in just a moment, but this album at times brings me back to when I was a teenager, like late 90s, early 2000s, The Gathering, like symphonic, yes, gothic, yes, but with a bit of an electronic twist to it. Is it fair to say that The Gathering has been an influence, or am I just, making this up?
Not exactly, not directly, I want to say. When we compose this album now, it's first the comic book, the images from the comic book that gives us the idea of the melodies. But everybody has influences that's unconscious, we are listening to The Gathering, we're listening to Nightwish, Motorhead, whatever. So Rammstein, of course, you will find different elements that comes in your music that you cannot avoid.
Yeah.
But when we composed this album, no, we didn't say, we want to refer to The Gathering. No, it's more unconscious if it happens, yeah.
With the comic, when we see specific image, we try to find, the instruments and the melodies, the ambience that will fit to that. So that's how it happens.
Okay. So, I mean, you mentioned now a couple of times already the comic books, and so you guys work with the amazing Alain Poncelet for the comic books, and it's interesting that you say like, well, you know, we kind of start with the comic book, and that steers the direction of the music. So, is Alain truly a band member then? Like, because he seems to write part of the art or the music then also.
Yes. For this album, we don't have his photo shoot yet, but it's on the way. On the previous album, in the album, you see Alain with his pencils, you know?
Yeah.
Guitar, vocals, pencils, Alain. I want just to say something. The previous album, we composed the music, and after came the comic book.
Okay.
Like we were supposed to do, like we always did.
Like most people that would do something accompanying to an album would do, but now you turn it around.
And then when we saw the result, the comic book, it didn't fit. So there were 11 songs, and we had to do, I recomposed all, and the vocals, everything, because it didn't match. So then we watched the graphics, and we were inspired for the music, and then the link was perfect. And for this album, we did that, not to lose time.
So how weird is that as a musical creator to realize or to experience that somebody from a very different perspective gets your art maybe even better than you did initially? Like that must be a really weird sensation for you, that you write music first and go like, well, the comic book tells a different story, so we have to change. It's not the comic book that has to change. I find that extremely interesting.
When it happened on this album, it didn't happen because now we learned. But on the previous, when it happened, I said, shit, we have to restart all from the beginning. Okay, we have ideas we can use for something else, but it's frustrating, and it's challenging too, because when it happened, we said, what we can do now to make it match. And after, you have to think differently, because when you compose music, usually you have melodies in your head.
Right.
For me, it's like that. For Karolina, I don't know. But there, you have to look to the comic book, what it inspires you as feeling, and then try to compose things that generate atmospheres and feelings. That's very different.
You say like, oh, there's definitely industrial influences and what have you, but you know, from a singing style, you do bring a little bit more of that. What's the right word to use? Almost like a dream-like approach to singing in many of the songs. And so for me, I checked out your Instagram pages, and then I saw straight away, obviously, like your copy of the Even Star, and it seems that you're a very big Lord of the Rings fan as well. So is that like your personal influence you bring to the mix? That sure, there might be some industrial metal going on, but where other people might expect like a Rammstein style harsher vocal, you balance that out with a little bit more of a subdued, elfish kind of approach. Is that where that comes from?
Well, actually, not really, but as I appreciate a lot Lord of the Rings, the atmosphere and the way I sing, it comes naturally for me. I don't try to fit something. So when we did the new album, and the way I was singing, it simply fit the atmosphere. Maybe subconsciously it was a bit Lord of the Rings, but I cannot really say.
Right.
We didn't really compose in that way, just to say fairy elements. For me, you know, this comic book happens also between in the previous comic book, the main character dies.
Right.
Here we are between the realm,
2 worlds,
alive people, and the realm of death, where the third album will happen, the third episode. That will be darker and harder. So here, it's between the 2 worlds, you know. That's why the vocals were more atmospheric. There is a song, it's War is Coming. It's a very Rammstein kind of riff. But we didn't want to copy them and say, let's put vocals like them. No, Karolina sing with her style, and that's it.
Yeah.
Rammstein fine may not like, we don't care. If they like, good. They are open-minded.
Hey, there's lots of them, so let's hope they do like it.
Please just close my eyes. Stop time right now. I'm so afraid. You are afraid.
A question I've asked a few people that like to follow a storyline on their albums. For you as the artist, when you then translate all of your material to a live show, is it weird for you to, because it's not because if a story flows in a certain way on album or in a book that necessarily that's the best way to engage an audience and keep them entertained. So you might end up playing songs that are not in the right order anymore, and like, so you're kind of jumping ahead and back in the story. Is that weird, or do you not care at all about that as you're building set lists?
No. In fact, we try to balance some fast songs with some a bit slower melodic, so that people also have time to reflect, to calm down, to gather energy for some stronger ones. So we try to make balance with the songs. They don't necessarily have to be going with the story. They have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
The show is built a bit like a traditional show. So like a Karolina said, we try to have an evolution in the music. But for few shows, when we made the release, and we'll probably do the same here one moment, then we play the whole album, with projections, telling the story. That will probably happen. But our usual shows, even if we have projections, the order of the song is not important. I think people don't care. Or having fun, feel the energy.
But would you? I have a feeling that let's just forget about restrictions of resources and timing and planning. But like, is it a bucket list item for you guys to, when the full story is done, to turn that into one massive like Broadway style production where you have not just some projections, but artists and actors and stage production and what have you, like an Adrien does every year, or Trans-Siberian Orchestra will do some crazy shows like that. Is that something that is like one thing you would one day like to do?
If we have the resources, like you say.
Well, yes. I mean, let's just forget about the small detail of it's really expensive.
But yeah, definitely would love to do that.
It's something that I interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No.
It's something that is so, how we say, it would be a dream. In fact,
right.
If I think about that, I think I can never reach that. But we can never reach that. So if it happens, or can happen, of course we would like to do. That would be really, a top for us. Yeah.
Okay.
You present by yourself something to the public. You have the projection. You have all the visual, all the possible points of the art that exist. You can present in one place. That would be a massive experience.
That's a long-term plan. Or not even plan, a dream. That's a long-term dream. But if we think a little bit closer to home right now, if we are thinking about, the album is going to come out, you are going to do shows, you're going to do a release show, you will promote this album live. What can we expect from upcoming shows?
A very good show. Very good show. A show you will not forget.
On stage, what people tell us usually, it's the energy we give to them, the energy they feel. That you can expect anytime, because we need that too. So we need to give energy, and we need to feel the energy. What to expect is difficult to say. I speak for myself. Say what you feel after may be different. For me, we present a new album. Okay, maybe the material will be different. Maybe the projections will be different too, or more sophisticated. I don't know. But for me, it's a Skeptical Minds show. That means the playlist will change, but we'll play the same way, in the same state of mind as we play as usual. For me, it's difficult to feel different even if all the playlists change.
Yeah. Emotions, then the reality, the really experience that will come from us to you on the stage. That we always give, and that you can expect, like honest experience, honest feelings, and the power.
Okay.
And I would just add for the new songs, I think on stage they can sound more massive than the previous ones. Production level on this album is better, much better. So we try to translate that on stage.
Yeah. So you've used words like power and energy, a word that I didn't hear you guys use, but if I can pull up any social media post that the band has ever done, and what was very noticeable was the comments or the taglines or descriptions are always extremely positive. There seems to be this vibe of positivity around. Now, I'm not talking about the lyrics necessarily of the band, right? I mean, I know that you deal with themes of life and death and all that kind of good stuff, but there seems to be a true positivity within and around the band. Is that just something that comes natural amongst the group? I know you've had some lineup changes and what have you, and but the group today seems to be pretty close.
Yeah, we are good friends. We are good friends. We are no longer like band. We are friends.
Right.
So that, I think that changes really, really a lot.
Yeah.
We know each other since years now. It's more like family.
Yeah.
We spoke about Alain. I know him since 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, Belgium is a small country too, so we know each other. The public is the same. We feel close to other artists, to our audience, to everybody. So we hate to pretend we are someone else. You know, as we speak now. We speak on stage, we speak after the show. So we don't play some characters in function.
Yeah, we are like real. Since the beginning, we are real about ourselves, about our feelings, about our music. And I think that really sense that we are not faking or not trying to play somebody else. So we are positive people, even if we play dark music.
You know, I saw many concerts in my life, and you see some artists, they play for themselves. They want to show what they do, and some artists share something with the public. I saw Rory Gallagher once, and it was fantastic night because I felt he plays for his public, and I say, okay, that guy. I like how he plays. That's the way I want to play. Okay, technically he's much better, but you know, you play for the audience first. Also for yourself because you like to feel your music, but not the selfish way. You know, I don't play. Look at me to be admired. No, just to feel the sensation on stage. If you play like this. Of course, you will communicate all that energy to the people, and they will give it back, and then it grows, and something happens.
Well, Mich and Karo, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you too.
I wish you guys all the best with the release of the album and then the shows that you'll be doing to promote it.
Thank you, and we'll send you videos, then you will see what happens.
There you go. That sounds like a good idea.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.